Shalom, and this stuff was by giving no praise to Yahweh, Bashem Yahushua, Bashem Kadash. Double honors to the apostles of great millstone, and honors you brothers doing the work of the most on truth and in sincerity. Yahweh's real name, with whom the world ignorantly calls God, Jehovah Yahweh. His real name is Yahweh. His son's true name is Yahweh Shai. And when we pray Yahweh, Ba Hashem Yahushua, Burman in, harming that and Sham, in the names Yahweh and the name of Yahweh Shai. Real quick, just wanted to touch on this as through the Spirit. As we said, Trump suggests Chicago is next for federal crime crackdown, followed by New York City, right? Places where you get a lot of Jake, okay? Because what, over here, right, over this side of the pond, right? The notion that surrounds Chicago is, especially if you're a Jake, it's like Chirac or whatever. You hear about in the music and this, that, and the other, which just goes to prove that all of the things that he has used these entertainers for, right, you're starting to see it come to fruition in these last days, right? You hear about how I don't know any of these niggas' names, man, but like was it King Von or one of them cats? I don't even know if that's the right. Let me just in my other tab, just make sure I'm talking about the right areas. But you hear stories about how King Von Davon Daquan Bennett, known professionally as King Von, was an American rapper and gangster from Chicago, Illinois, right? So you hear about Chicago, you hear about these individuals like King, I think it was King, but one of them dusty ass ninjas, right? And how they were basically, certain of them were straight up killers. Don't know if King Von was one, but certain of them were straight up killers, and they're being, given, record deals, right? He was setting a trap, right? Which is why the scriptures say this. This is Genesis 3. It says from the top, so now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field, right? And that certain serpent, you can use it as a representative of this Edomite today, okay? And he is subtle. This Edomite is subtle, okay? Because that serpent, I wasn't, a real snake slithering. Come on now, right? But what you're basically seeing is the fruit of Esau's subtlety, and then you look at certain of the certain of the videos or the thumbnails for videos that you basically Jake promotes, right? What you're basically seeing is E using those Jakes to show that actually it is all of us. Right, I remember the elder made that example of what's this Jake called here, man? Slovakia. I cannot for the life of me remember. Yeah, Stormzy, right? So let me look and show you an example of that, right? Right, so let me move that in, bring it over to this tab here, right? Okay, so you're basically seeing this. Remember the certain of the other ones, you could see much more like different range of ages, right? Basically showing that it's all of them, because it's like, what is this promoting? Right, it's promoting to these Edomites that Jake is a problem, and that he will have to come down and fix that problem, right? So you see that Trump suggests Chicago is next for the federal crime crackdown, followed by New York City. Washington President Trump on Friday said Chicago will probably be the federal government's next target for its anti-crime effort, following the ongoing operation in Washington, D.C., with New York City after that. The remarks were the president's clearest indication yet that he intends to bring his crusade against crime beyond the corridors of his direct authority in Washington. Trump also said he's willing to bring in the regular military into the District of Columbia, not just the National Guard, which would be a significant escalation of the president's use of military on U.S. soil. I'm really honored that the National Guard has done such an incredible job working with the police, Trump said. It says, and we haven't had to bring in the regular military, which we're willing to do if we have to. This isn't after we do this, we'll go to another location and we'll make it safe. Also, Chicago's a mess, he continued. You have an incompetent mayor, grossly incompetent, and we'll straighten that one out probably next. That will be our next one after this. he said that people in Chicago are screaming for us to come, right? So, this is exactly, what Esau wants. This is, it's time, right? It's time. Esau's coming down against the tribes. On one hand, he's, coming the crime with the crime stuff against the against the Southern Kingdom, and is coming with the immigration stuff against the Northern Kingdom, right? So, yeah, man, we're in an interesting time, it's a beautiful time, right? But it's gonna be a hard time, right? And the wicked of our people, man, they ain't got anyone that's gonna come to their aid. Revelation 12:12, therefore rejoice ye heavens and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. Okay, so Esau is going to start, really speeding things up, man, right? This is Ezekiel 21:9. It says, Son of man, prophesy and say, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, say a sword is sharpened and also furbished. It is sharpened to make a sore slaughter. It is furbished that it may glitter. Should we then make mirth? They contemneth the rod of my son as every tree, right? And he hath given it to be furbished that it may be handled. The sword is sharpened and it is furbished to give it into the hand of the slayer, right? So ultimately, it's the Most High that is, with this agenda, right? It's the Most High that's with this agenda to basically come down on Jake, man, right? This is Psalm 17:13. Arise, O Yahweh, disappoint and cast him down. Deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword, right? Esau is the Lord's sword, right? Because Jake is wicked as hell, right? Once again, and the thing is, there'll be certain, you'll be seeing certain of these album covers, will be certain, musicians that you kind of like, but you look at the covers that I saw on earlier on, it was just a Jake, holding a gun straight into, into the camera. It's like, man, right? But that's the image that he's painting so that he can come with this solution, right? The scriptures, apostles, have long told us about order ad chaos, okay? Order out of chaos, which is what you're seeing, right? You're seeing this order out of chaos, man, right? So, yeah, I just wanted to touch on that real quick, and you can tell there really isn't much time left, man. This really is the end, right? We're fast approaching, the time that we're looking for, right? And will it be what's the word? Will it be plain sailing, right? Now we have faith. We pray to the Lord for protection, which we ultimately know that the Lord is going to protect us, right? But ultimately it's our faith that's gonna keep us going in this thing, because it's gonna get messy, right? In fact, let's grab two more precepts, right? Because right, in second Ezra's as well. This is what Ezra said, right? It says second Ezra 16:17. It says, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? Right, so Ezra was seeing what was happening. He was like, oh snap, right? The different prophets, right? Let's get the example in Daniel, right? What did Daniel say? Daniel 12:1, and at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people, and they shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book. Okay, this is basically saying there's going to be a time of trouble like never before. Right, you look at some of the different things that have happened in history. The Lord's saying, look, man, it's going to be, it's going to eclipse that, right? But in this verse, right, is comfort and hope also, okay? Because it says, it starts off by saying, Michael the archangel is going to stand for us, right? And then it ends by saying that ultimately the elect shall be delivered, okay? Because these things, right, are for the wicked. Okay, I don't know if I'll be able to find that priest. Let me just look for, so let me see if I can find it. Yeah, I think I got it up there, but I'm shy. Yep. Salakia. This is Sirach 40:9, right? It says, death and bloodshed, strife and sword, calamities, famine, tribulation, and the scourge, right? These things are created for the wicked, and for their sakes came the flood. So the what we're about to see is the same thing again, but this time it's going to be a flood of fire, right? America's going to be completely destroyed, right? And all the sinners of the Lord's people shall die by the sword. Okay, so that's it, man. All of this calamity, man, it's the Lord's judgment. Okay, but the Lord's going to protect his men, right? And it's this faith that's going to keep us strong. This is Isaiah 33:6. It says, "And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, right? And strength of salvation. The fear of Yahweh is his treasure." So as always, Lord, what I was edifying. Until next time we say, Shalom.